Well, there is some pretty good news for weekend warriors, plus news about innovative cancer treatments. Good morning, Dr. Joette Giovinco of the Fox Medical Team. So if there's a cancer men fear, it is prostate cancer. There is some new hope for those patients.
Yeah, good morning, Tim. Yeah, there is. There's some new research that's trying to ascertain which of the men that we should treat. Now, we know that a lot of men who get prostate cancer won't die of their disease, so there's a concern of doing more harm than good when we treat it. But now what research is doing is they've found this genetic fingerprint that's present in about 30% of those cancers that are aggressive, the ones that we should treat. And they believe that if they continue to, to develop this particular test, it may help us distinguish which person needs to be treated and which not to treat. And there was also a corresponding study that looked at the BRCA gene mutation. Now, a lot of people think of BRCA gene mutation, they're going to think of ovarian cancer or breast cancer, but it also can contribute to prostate cancer in men. It's a low percentage, about 3% of prostate cancer cases. However, they found in those men who had that BRCA gene mutation, their cancer was already aggressive and already somewhat tolerant or resistant to treatment at the get-go. So they didn't have to wait and have treatment and then have the cancer come back. It was already kind of pre-programmed to be resistant. So that's another good discovery, because now they can try to target those people and more aggressively treat those men. Right,
almost custom-made treatments. What about women and news on breast cancer?
Yeah, more good news too. We have, breast cancer is normally hormonal, right? It's fueled by estrogen or fueled by progesterone. But there's something called triple-negative breast cancer. What these researchers have found is that although one of those targeted therapies, it's a newer drug, it's the CDK inhibitors, is really geared for those hormonally fueled cancers, it seemed to reduce the risk of the triple negative spreading or becoming metastatic. Although it didn't kill the cell itself, it didn't put that person in remission, it may help to treat or prevent metastases. So good news there as well.
All right, and now the really good news. Any exercise is better than no exercise, right?
Yes, yes. According to this particular study, they said that those weekend warriors who achieve that recommended amount of exercise that we try to strive for, that's 150 minutes of moderate exercise. That means that as you're exercising, you can talk, but you can't sing. Or 75 minutes of vigorous exercising. That means that you can only speak a couple of words before taking a breath. If they do all that in 1 to 2 sessions, they reduce their risk of all-cause mortality by about 30%. Now, when you looked at those people who are more, religious about it, that are doing 4 to 5 times a week and getting those exercise routines in on, spread out, they reduced their risk of all-cause mortality by about 35%. They also looked at people who were insufficiently exercising, so maybe a couple of sessions per week during the week, and they also saw a reduction there. So some better than nothing, but if you really want to get that full benefit, you want to exercise that full amount, spread it over time. And there was one more caveat to this. There was a commentary that said if you sit 8 hours a day or more, you're going to need to get even more exercise. They're saying somewhere between 5 and 7 hours per week.
We have been duly warned. Dr. Joe, thanks very much.